Hey everyone, welcome to season 2 of the Saints Unscripted Podcast. This season will be all about the most controversial topics in Joseph Smith's polygamy. And we have my friend Brian Hales here. Hey, Brian.
Hey, it's great to be here, Jake.
Brian, can you let us know what to look forward to in these episodes in season 2?
You know, Jake, it's a unique product that we've been working on because in the 30 years I've been researching plural marriage and Joseph Smith and some of the more modern manifestations and writing books on those topics, I've never put together an actual presentation that tries to hit on all of the controversies in significant depth. I've put them all in a package that lasts, just a few minutes. But these episodes that we're going to present are going to create more knowledge because they go into greater depth than I've ever done in a presentation or in a podcast. And we're going to talk about Fanny Alger. She keeps coming back as somebody who we need to understand as much as we can understand and also understand what we can't. We want to talk always about plural husbands, plurality of husbands called polyandry. What's going on there? That's got to be the weirdest thing Joseph Smith ever was associated with, and yet I would argue he never did practice a plurality of husbands. So, look at the evidence, and you can understand why I'm confident in that view. We're going to talk about the sexuality. It's very popular with some online voices to say Joseph didn't consummate any of his plural marriages, and we'll talk about why that really is not adequate. The evidence is strong that he did. And that was the expectation in some of the marriages, not all of them. And then the question of, are there any children? And what does the data show? We're going to talk about the ages of the wives. That's controversial. He had a couple he was sealed to 14-year-olds and a 15-year-old. What's the story there? Were these consummated? What is the evidence? And then, of course, maybe the biggest story in all of this is the sub-story of Emma Smith. And how did she find out, and what was her feeling, and how was she a victim of Joseph? Was she a victim of plural marriage? Well, listen in and get a view on that. And then I've added an extra episode that talks about polygamy, I think, for us today. How can we react to it? How can I have a testimony and still believe Joseph Smith practiced polygamy? How does it fit in? And it can, and it isn't necessarily an easy thing, but it was a religious practice for Joseph, and we talk about the evidence for that, and something that gratefully we don't have to worry about today, and I don't think we ever will. So those are kind of the topics. Again, getting in, there's a slide, PowerPoint slides that help carry the discussion along, and something that I hope will help bring clarity to something that can be very confusing.
Thanks, Brian. What a great rundown. Polygamy is a really tough topic, and I'm so grateful that you've done all these episodes with me and that you've been so transparent about the facts, the stories, the written accounts, what we know and what we don't know. And as Brian said, we will cover the most controversial topics in Joseph Smith's polygamy, and we'll have a bonus episode about, with questions about polygamy. So stay tuned for the next several weeks as we cover these topics one by one. And next week, our first controversial topic will be about Joseph Smith's first plural relationship with Fanny Alger. And we'll see you next week.